It's been reported recently there's a bottleneck for Gibraltar's junior footballing talent to progress through the ranks to the senior game and onto the national side. This, however, is being addressed by Gibraltar's grassroots programme, which appears to be alive and well and has been for numerous years. This past weekend, over 700 youngsters took to the playing surfaces at the Bayside Complex for the first round of games in the junior football programme for this season. To find out more, I spoke to Leslie Askett, who's the GFA grassroots manager.
Of course, that's not true. Whoever thinks that the development in Gibraltar is not going forward, they're absolutely wrong. Gibraltar football, since I've been chairman at 8 years and before my time, there's always been a positive attitude towards junior football, and not only in junior football, in all aspects of the game, whether it's veterans, we've had veterans tournament, women's, across the board, there's always been activities and tournaments. I would like to say this, that it's grown, and that's what it's all about, is growth, retention, education, fair play. We've worked on that for quite a few years now. Becoming UEFA members means that we need to be more professional, yes, but before becoming UEFA members we were already working on the growth retention, because we knew about the UEFA Grassroots Charter, which is one of the things that we are going to get the funding maybe in the very near future, which I'm working on a project now, on the grassroots plan. So, of course, there have been a lot of development. And we have to appreciate all those people that have been there for so many years at club level on a voluntary-based system, which they've been dedicate a lot of hours to the kids and also to the subcommittees, of all the subcommittees, which we have about 32 games every week, not only at junior football, but we have games on women's football, we have the senior football, and there's a lot of people refereeing, referees, coaches, and there's subcommittees, voluntary. They do a lot of hours at the stadium, and that has to be recognised.
One thing that really must be pleasing then, all the other facets of the sport started a couple of weeks ago, but junior football started this weekend. New system in place for the 7s, 9s and 11s, but 700 youngsters coming through the doors at the stadium and playing, and all looking like they're enjoying. The commitment is still there.
Of course, we practically play football 7 days a week. The new system is because to get the emphasis on winning, but the emphasis on winning is still there. The competitiveness is still there. The thing is that to get away with the pressure of 6 and 7 year olds, getting this pressure on the sidelines by parents and grandparents, and just let them play, just let them enjoy, let the coach do the work, let them they do the training sessions with the coaches. Coaches are there, they have to do the basic techniques, basic skills, and let them progress slowly.
And some people realise that it's not just the 700 youngsters that were running onto the field, but it's all the coaching staff and everyone else behind them as well. It is really a great big family, really looking after the grassroots of Gibraltar football.
Yes, it is. That's why I mentioned before that we have to recognise the recognition to all these coaches and even parents that work at club level. And there's a lot of people dedicated as a voluntary-based system, and that is to be appreciated.
When we joined UEFA, this was really what it was all about, the grassroots of the game. The senior are obviously the pinnacle where we want to get people. These youngsters are coming through. We've seen with results for the under-15s, the 17s and the under-19s that they can compete, and they have come through this conveyor belt of junior football.
Yeah, I can talk. I've been in 2 tournaments with the under-17. They've played brilliantly. It's not only on the field of play, it's about education. I've said before, is being a discipline on a hotel, discipline on how to eat the food. And, we've got the physiotherapists that work with them, got doctors, we've had school teachers being with them so they can continue their studies, and the food is very important, so the kids maybe in Gibraltar, the mother says, I don't want this, and the mother do something else for them. No, this is everybody the same, and if you have to eat pasta today, because we have a game in 2 hours' time, eat pasta, and whatever the nutrition says. And that's the education side of it, outside the field of play, and the kids have been fantastic in that way.
So if we really look at grassroots, there isn't a bottleneck, as some people have allured to. There isn't a bottleneck, and proof may be in the fact of a team like Lincoln, where you have seen the progression of some of the star players from there, all the way from grassroots level.
Well, I don't know who says a bottleneck, because like you say, Lincoln players, I've seen all those Lincoln players playing for every selection in different age groups since the age of 7, like Lee Casiaro, for example, which is now 32 or 33 years old. Lee Casiaro, I've seen him grow. I've seen him grow to playing in the under-7, I've seen him grow playing in the under-9s, I've seen him grow under-11, under-13s, under-15s. So there's no development. It can happen to any other player now.
Sandpits tennis has over the past couple of years seen a real rebirth, thanks in the main to the popularity of paddle tennis. Recently the club held both tennis and paddle tournaments, attracting good numbers. In the tennis tournament, Gibraltar number 1 James Taylor defeated Johan Valverde in straight sets, while in the paddle final James again featured, playing with Joey Sheriff, but the pair couldn't get the better of Mark Martinez and Albert Sheriff. I went along to the club during one of their events, a 12-hour marathon in aid of our very own GBC Open Day, and spoke to club president Louis Poggio.
Well, the main reason is because I think we've gone back into a competitive mode, and we're having lots of tournaments throughout the years. We've got 4 paddle tournaments lined up, and we're also hoping to have 4 tennis tournaments. We've got lots of sponsorship, we've got very good sponsors, and we've been offering prize money for the winners, so it's making people want to play more in competition.
That's a big incentive. You just finished a paddle tournament and a normal tennis tournament as well. Tell us how they got on.
Well, it was they got on very well. I mean, the paddle is always very popular. The tennis, we managed to get a group of 16. In fact, we had a few more that signed up too late, and the draw was done already. But it went very well. You know, we were playing for a week of tennis and 2 weeks of paddle, so very, very popular at the moment.
James Taylor seems to be synonymous with both forms of the game, and lost the main final to a relatively unknown pair.
Yes, James played with Joey Sheriff. You're talking about the paddlers, and lost against Albert, who's been for a long time and one of Gibraltar's top paddle players, and he played with Mark Martinez. It was very close. Went to a third set tie-break. Unfortunately, James and Joey lost.
And we can move on to the tennis. He came back to his fore, which is probably his main discipline of the tennis game.
That's right. James at the moment is a bit ahead of everybody else, and I think he got through easily to the final, and in fact had a good match in the final and managed to beat Johan Valverde.
It was also good to see some other youngsters coming into the tournament, people that maybe not be members of Sandpits as well, because everyone's welcome here to play in these tournaments.
Yes, everybody can come in and play, and the hope is, that they like it, they join the club, and we've got, as I say, we've got a good membership now, and we are organising lots of stuff, and we hope to get more players, especially junior players.
Looking forward to a positive future, building up potentially to the Ireland Games next year.
Yes, we are. With James Taylor's heading the group at the moment, and they've started training already. We've got a few down with injuries at the moment. We haven't finalised the teams yet, but that will come in the next few weeks.
Really want to see women start playing the game finally.
Well, there are some good players that I hope will take part next year in the Ireland Games and come back to us and play and have a good time with the Gibraltar team.
Very positive future for Sandpits as a whole.
Yes, it is at the moment. Yes, I think it's things are looking good. We try to encourage people to come over. We've had especially lots of people coming to live in Gibraltar. People who come over with betting companies. We've had quite a few of those joining the club in the last few months.
As mentioned, the club took to the paddle courts for a 12-hour marathon, and I caught up with organiser Bob Cassiaro.
Right, we had an idea with the committee to raise some funds for the GBC Open Day, and we've decided to organise a few events, starting with this one. As events organiser, we decided to embark on doing a 12-hour marathon, which on behalf of the committee I took on board. Started off this morning at 8 o'clock straight through until 8 o'clock this evening. 12 matches, an hour each, 12 hours. The money is, we've got some funds there that we've raised so far. I mean, the participants, members and non-members alike, they've actually all contributed nicely to the event. Quite happy with everything, the way it's gone, and we hope to be doing this event on an annual basis.
When we come down into sand pits and the paddle, which has really taken off, it's great to see numbers playing the sports. Is that something that you're keen to play on, the fact that the numbers are coming back to the sport?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, paddle now seems to be the in thing at all ages. I mean, I've got my own son who actually plays as well, and up to the age of the 70s, we've got Dennis and Johnny Jones still playing actively in this sport. We do organise a couple of, in fact, up to 3 and 4 events, tournaments with the club. We invite non-members to take part in it as well. We just recently come off one of the tournaments. We also, on the back of that, we do the tennis tournament as well. So it's not just a paddle, but this is a paddle and tennis club. So as committee, we are all interested in keeping both disciplines, carry on with it.
That's about all we've got time for on this week's programme, but before we go, here's the rest of the Rock's current sporting news. In the Women's Football League, there were wins for Lincoln and Manchester 62, while in the Futsal First Division, there were wins for St Joseph's Neptune, Marine, Jib Scorpions, Lynx and Glasses United. Out in the Bay this past weekend, the final rescheduled races in the RGYC victory season were sailed. On Saturday afternoon in the Brinton 4, Monty Spindler's Sailing Temptress took the win to claim the series. Monty also took the third Ocean Race and Paul Mifsud Trophy, with the Ocean Race series going to Charlie Lavarello, who'd already claimed the season's trophy, the King's Cup. And finally, away from the Rock, 3 of Gibraltar's pistol shooters have been competing at the Welsh Open, with the highlight seeing Daniel Pius claim bronze. That's all for this week's Sports Report. Join us in 7 days' time for more of the Rock sporting news. From the Sports Report team, thanks for watching and bye for now.